Okay, hi everyone. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Miss Ho, your physics teacher. So, I'm creating this video because in an earlier video, when I was discussing these answers, we used the value of G as 10. And until now, that still isn't sitting well with me because in SPM, the value of G should be 9.81. Now, the answers given in the teacher's edition did use 10 and they shouldn't have unless specifically informed to do so by the question. So if you saw the earlier video where I went through the answers, for question 4, we had to use 10 because the question actually said to use 10. But for question 5, they didn't mention the value of G, but the answers were written based on the value of G as 10, and that's actually not right. The value of G should be 9.81 meters per second squared as per requirements of SPM physics. So I've created this video in order to correct the solutions in these questions. So we're going to use the value of G as 9.81 meters per second squared. All right. I'm also just going to briefly explain how to solve this question in a manner that's easier for more students to understand, because some students don't quite understand how to visualize this pulley system. So what you can do is you can draw these out flat. That means, let me see. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to make it flat like this. Because you see, if these objects, okay, when one moves down, the other will move to the right at the same time. It's together. So as this moves down, this will move across. So the forces are working together. If you can't quite visualize the system this way, you can actually redraw. I'm just going to put a different color so that it's different from the question so that you can see what I'm doing. You can actually draw it out flat. That means we're taking the 5 kg object, right? We put it out flat and we will connect the forces this way. So here, this is tension of T, and this is G of 10 Newton. This is the 10 kg object, 5 kg object. And what happens is this line will now become this direction. So this becomes T, and the weight, whoops, the weight now is going to the right. So the resultant force, let me change color. The resultant force can be calculated based on this diagram instead of this. So if you can visualize it this way, go ahead. If you need to redraw and make it out flat to make it easier for you to solve the question, go ahead. As long as it's a method that works for you to solve the question. So this resultant force can be calculated this way. Going to the right is positive, going to the left is negative. So it's W minus T plus T minus 10. And because T and T using it can cancel each other, in the end you get W minus 10. W in this case is mg, and it's only the 5 kg object. So it's 5 times 9.81 minus 10. Working it out, let me just pull up my calculator. So it's 5 times 9.81 minus 10. That gives us a value of 39.05 Newton. And now I feel so much better seeing, oh, we are now using the correct value of G. Yes, she must show camera. So to solve the following questions of acceleration and tension using these new values now. So to calculate acceleration, F equals ma, taking the value of F, which was 39.05. M is still the total of both. Well, let's look at this diagram, 10 and 5, right? So it's still 10 plus 5 times A. Working this out, let me just pull up my calculator again. 39.05 divided by 2.603. So I'm going to write that out. 2.603 meters per second squared. And to get tension, oops, I forgot to change pen. To get the tension, what you can do is you can split it at the trolley plug. Split it at the pulley section. So you look at left side only or right side only. Or you can even split this diagram, left side and right side only. I'm just going to copy and paste this diagram so that I don't have to flip between the slides on the Jamboard. So to solve C, what you can do is you split it, right? And you can take left side only or right side only. Now, in both cases, the objects are both moving to the right with the same acceleration. So if we were to take the left side only, so I'll label this part as A, you can actually count it this way. F equals ma, and focus only on A. Ignore what's happening on the other side, which I'll label as B. Focus on A, that means ignore all this. You only have two forces, T and 10. Now it's going to the right. That means, which one will be more, T or, 50, T or 10? T, right? So T minus 10 is our resultant force. Sub in, mass is only 10. Ignore the 5, remember? And when you work this out, you would get, let me work it out. Actually, no need lah. I don't calculate the 26 plus 10, 36.03 Newton. If you use the right side of B, you should get the exact same answer as well, which would be, in the case of B, W minus T, how am I thinking? W minus T equals to MA. This M is now only 5, A is still 2.603, weight is 49.05 minus T. This is assuming we don't know T, we're looking for T, right? So 5 times 2.603, and then we'll work it out. I'm just going to punch in the calculator just to make sure that I get a number that, works. 36.035, thereabouts, 36.035. So the number is slightly different because of our rounding, but you find that the number is pretty much the same. Now, when you submit your answer, you know, for exams or whatever, you only need to count it one time, but you can calculate again on the other side just to check answer is correct or not. And if you get the same value for the tension, then you've got it right. Okay, so based on this new empowered knowledge now, let's look at the other pulley question. Remember, we're taking value of G as 9.81. Now again, if you need to make it flat, okay, to make it easier for you to solve, you can do that. That means we're going to put both objects side by side, like this. So that means T is inside here. This one is the 10 kg object with W1 on this side, and this one would be W2 on the other side, and this is 5 kg. Now, in this case, we're not going to assume to the right as positive or negative. Let's work out the values of W1. So W1 is mg, which is 10 times 9.81, which gives us 98.1 Newton. And W2 is 5 times 9.81, which should give us a value of 4 point something. Sorry, the mental math is not so strong today because I'm tired. 49.05. Oh, is the same as the earlier number. Oops. So you can see in this case, there's no friction as per the question because it's moving. And going to the left is more than going to the right. So which means we can assume the object is moving to the left. Or in the case of the pulley, the 10 kg object is moving down, 5 kg object is moving up. That means we take the resultant force. If you hear any noise, it's because of other people in the same room as me. So we take it again, 98.1 Newton minus T plus T minus 49.05, which again you can cancel this. So 98.1 minus 49.05 gives you 49.05 Newton. So to solve acceleration, F equals ma, taking this as our F, our resultant force, 49.05. Mass is still both added together, the sum of both. And in the end, we get 49.05 divided by 15, 3.27 meters per second square. Hold on, I'm trying to copy and paste something. Then, to solve tension, just like the earlier question, you cut it. So for example, over here, you could cut it at the pulley, or you cut it in this diagram. So pretty much the same thing, it's just that there's no pulley in here. So you can cut it at the pulley, left side only or right side only. Or in this case, cut left side only or right side only. So same thing, let's take this as A and this is B. I realize I'm using the wrong pen, so I'll switch it now. So for side A, so answer for C, yeah? So for the left side, which we'll label as A, that means F equals MA. So because now we know, right, the object is moving to the left, that means W1 is more than T. So you have W1 minus T equals to 10 times acceleration of, what was it just now? 3.27. Ooh, I did underline. Let's underline that. Right. 3.27. That is 98.1. I should have put that in. Wait, let me, don't want to write so many things lah. Let me put that in straight away, 98.1. So the value of T therefore is 5.4 Newton. Or if you calculated, if you calculate it using B, because it's going to the left, that means T is more than W2. So T minus 49.05 equals to mass of 5 times acceleration 3.27. That gives us, oops, if I know I could have calculated before. Okay. And besides, I want to show you the working. The numbers can always be figured out. So yes, see the numbers are the same. And now tonight I can sleep easy knowing I have created the video with the correct value of G now. So if you had used G as 10, I guess for practice it's fine, but it's better to use G as 9.81 because that's the actual value of G that is used in SPM. So hope you found this video helpful. Oh yeah, don't forget to click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye-bye.